Hey, why is the dropout here? Yeah, seriously. We didn't invite you, though. I reunited with my mother and sister after several years at a wedding venue. As soon as they saw my face, they hit me with those words. Behind them, my father looked down at me with a mocking gaze. No matter how many years pass, people's personalities don't change easily. I painfully realized it's not normal to insult your own daughter right after reuniting. I thought maybe with time, they would become better people, but it was disappointing. You won't be able to mock me for much longer. Suppressing the laughter welling up, I uttered a certain fact. My name is Ava Bell, 29 years old. I've always wanted to work in a job that helps people. Since my parents, both doctors, owned a private hospital, I actually wanted to become a medical professional like a doctor or nurse. However, I started working right after high school, and I didn't have time to prepare for a national exam, so I had to give up. Why just a high school graduate? The issue lay in my family environment. To outsiders, my parents might seem like ordinary parents, but to me, they are nothing short of toxic. I have a younger sister who is 4 years younger than me, and from the moment she was born, my parents showered her with affection, neglecting me. Lily, my sister, was recognized for her beauty and charm, like a lovely doll. She was aware of it and always smiled at our parents and those around her. Due to my parents' excessive favoritism towards Lily, she began to perceive me as inferior. On the other hand, I, wanting to avoid being at home, made studying at the library a daily routine. Thanks to that, my test scores were always good, consistently above 90 out of 100. But no matter how hard I tried, my parents never acknowledged me. Being able to study doesn't matter for a girl. You lack charm, that's why it won't work. If only you were as cute as Lily. Parents saying such things is unimaginable in normal circumstances. However, I had grown accustomed to receiving heartless words from my parents, and my self-esteem kept dropping. As a result, my parents didn't approve of my university education. I told them, I want to work in a job that helps people, like a doctor or nurse. But they just scoffed, dismissing my plea. Especially my mother, due to her excessive affection for Lily, ruthlessly berated my aspiration to be in the medical field. You becoming a doctor? That's impossible, right? Why? Even my homeroom teacher said with my current grades, I could get into medical school. Medical school costs money. If I have to invest in someone, it's better to spend it on Lily than on a useless person like you. I'll work even harder than ever. I'll definitely pass, and I'll strive to get a scholarship. You're so persistent, I won't allow you to go to university. Your father agrees, so find a job and leave this house as soon as you can. Not only did my parents not show affection, but they also didn't acknowledge my efforts. Seeing me depressed seemed enjoyable to Lily, who always approached me with a mocking tone. Sis, you got scolded again. So what? I'll poo you. Even though you can study, you get treated poorly just because I'm cuter. Well, that's the fate of being my sister, huh? That's quite a nerve you have. Huh. Don't take out your frustration on me just because you're not loved by our parents. It's not my fault that you are ugly, right? Looks shouldn't matter. And I'm doing my best with what I can do. Getting emotional, my voice unintentionally raised. Lily burst into laughter, pointing at me with a hearty laugh. You are so dumb. Oh no, I'm laughing too much, my stomach hurts. Huh. Hey, don't you get it? No matter how hard you work, as long as I'm here, you'll never get recognized by mom and dad. What? You'd never know. I do. With me around, mom and dad always say everything's fine. They often say they shouldn't have had a big sister like you. Huh. No way. Too bad. There's absolutely no value in you being born. There's absolutely no value in you being born. Her casually spoken words completely shattered my heart. Of course, there might have been ways to pursue university exams despite my parents' opposition. But Lily's words robbed me of all my energy completely. Lily, who was raised with excessive love from my parents, always comparing herself to me, feeling loved, and raising her own value. On the contrary, I was never respected by my parents. I was always ridiculed. However, in hindsight, that might have been my fate. After graduating from high school, I started working as an office clerk. Moving out of the house with the job gave me freedom from all the stress, and the desire to learn something again rekindled within me. However, becoming a doctor or nurse now was too reckless. Despite my love for studying, financially, it was challenging to attend medical school while working. Still, unable to completely give up on a medical career, I ultimately decided to pursue a qualification in medical assistance. I diligently studied during commute times and lunch breaks. The medical office exam took place twice a year. 2 months after starting my studies, the first exam was held, but to secure a sure pass, I decided to skip it initially. Then, on the second exam, I successfully passed. After 2 years at the company, I resigned and started working as a medical assistant at a university hospital. While I couldn't become a doctor or nurse, becoming a medical assistant gradually restored my lost self-esteem. Working at the hospital, I began thinking, what else can I do? Being at the reception most of the time, I frequently heard stories from patients who couldn't come to the hospital, especially the elderly or those with mobility issues. Gradually, I started considering if I could create a service to connect them with the hospital. Talking to friends who had started their own businesses, it started to seem feasible to me too. So, alongside my medical assistant work, I began investing effort into building my own business. And 3 years ago, I finally launched a medical intermediary services company. Initially, the awareness was low and there were few users, but thanks to patients at the hospital where I worked spreading the word, now many people use it. It was busy every day and I couldn't afford to take a break, but I was sure of one thing: I felt fulfilled. One day, I encountered Dr. James Simpson, a friendly doctor who had been cooperating with my service at the hospital where I used to work. He said, "This is perfect," and handed me a paper. "Dr. Simpson, what's this? In fact, I'm getting married and that's why I wanted you, who has been so helpful, to participate in the wedding." Me. "Is it okay?" "Of course. Thanks to you, this hospital my father runs has gained more users. I'm truly grateful." "Then, I'd be happy to attend." After parting with Dr. Simpson and finishing work, I returned to my company. Opening the invitation he handed me, to my surprise, my sister Lily's name was written in the bride's section. Dr. Simpson's marrying Lily. Bell is a common surname, and it might be a coincidence of names. Telling myself that, I attended the wedding 2 months later. The ceremony was a garden wedding held outdoors. Then, I witnessed my despised sister and parents in the wedding. As they noticed me, they boldly approached. "Hey, why is a dropout like you here? Seriously, we didn't invite you." Upon reuniting after several years, my mother and sister, seeing my face, bombarded me with such words. Behind them, my father looked down at me with a mocking gaze. No matter how many years pass, people's personalities don't change easily. I painfully realized, it's not normal to insult your family immediately upon reunion. I thought maybe with time, they would become better people, but I was wrong. "You won't be able to mock me for much longer." Suppressing the laughter welling up, I uttered a certain fact. "Congratulations on your marriage. I never thought I'd end up attending your wedding." That's my line, though. My sister retorted provocatively. "Why does someone like you have to interfere with my big day? Someone like me? You're just a high school graduate, so you're trash from the start. Unlike you, I graduated from university properly. Also, unlike you, I'm loved by mom and dad, right?" Lily turned to our parents, seeking their agreement with a beaming smile. In response to her words, they merely smiled happily. To them, she's their only real daughter. I was forcibly reminded of that harsh reality. Looking at me in silence, Lily triumphantly spoke. "Well, anyway, this isn't a place for you to come. Just leave, okay?" As I said before, I was invited. A loser like you invited to a wedding. That's hilarious. Not only did my sister, but even my parents started laughing. All eyes around us focused on us. Now is the time. If I want to get back at my family, this is the perfect chance. A loser. What makes me a loser? In response to my question, my family burst out laughing simultaneously, my sister, father, and mother each throwing harsh words at me. "Eck, seriously? You're a loser just for being a high school graduate, a worthless girl unloved even by parents, shamelessly attending her sister's wedding." Exactly as Lily says, you're not one of us. A disgrace to the family, working for an unknown company as a high school graduate. That's right, not sending you to university was the right choice. You'd be a waste of money going to university. Ha. Their laughter echoed in the venue, and guests gave us puzzled looks. In the midst of this, Simpson, having heard the commotion, approached us. Now is the time, I whispered. You really don't know anything, do you? In response to my words, all three of them simultaneously said, huh. Already standing there with a red face was Simpson. Upon seeing him, Lily hastily began to make excuses. James, this is my sister. But she's a dropout and really useless for our family, you know. Useless? What's useless about her? Also, I didn't hear anything about you having a sister. I was embarrassed to talk about her with you. Because she is really a useless person. She can only study, and she's an unsociable ugly woman. So I didn't want to introduce her. In front of Lily making herself the victim, Simpson's face turned increasingly red. Perhaps at his limit, Simpson raised his voice at Lily with a fierce expression. Don't mess around. How can you say that about your own sister? Your sister. Miss Bell is an amazing person, and you know nothing about her. James. Whether or not she understood what he was saying, Lily stood frozen in place. Ignoring her, and facing my parents, Simpson coldly addressed them. You really didn't know, huh? Miss Bell is indeed a high school graduate, but then she worked hard, obtained a medical assistant's qualification, and came to my father's hospital. Oh, is she a medical assistant? James, isn't your father's hospital the best in this area? And didn't you say that they would support my dad's private hospital? I can't believe my sister was working there. According to what I heard from Simpson, our parents' private hospital is facing closure due to financial difficulties. The story was that Dr. Simpson's father would support it as part of the marriage deal. Staring at Lily, Simpson continued, That's not all. Miss Bell started an intermediary service for people in need of medical attention. She's now the president of that company. Thanks to that service, our hospital's user base has increased. My father was impressed by her efforts. Is that true? My sister is doing something amazing. Despite that, even though she's your family, how can you say such cruel things? I'm disappointed. Sorry, but let's just pretend the marriage talk never happened. What? Wait, James. Are you joking? Simpson forcefully shook off Lily. And at that moment, Simpson's father appeared and coldly informed my parents. I never expected you to be so malicious. I'm surprised. Although my father immediately started to make excuses with it's not like that, his words fell on deaf ears. Simpson's father looked down on my family as if they were filth, and bluntly declared, Now that my son has decided not to marry, there's no obligation to support your hospital. Well, to be honest, with medical professionals like you, patients probably wouldn't come anyway. Upon Simpson and his father inviting me with a let's go over there, I nodded slightly and followed them. From behind, I heard Lily's piercing scream. It's your fault. Because of you, even at this stage, blaming others, I faced my sister and parents and boldly declared, My fault. This is the result of your own human nature. If you had just treated me like a normal family, even just today, it wouldn't have come to this. Everything is a consequence of your own actions. You're so annoying. I was supposed to marry into a rich family, and it's all your fault. Don't be ridiculous. After treating people with contempt all this time, do you think you can suddenly be happy? It's ridiculous. Neglecting your family and expecting only yourself to be happy is naive. People like you, trash like you, will never experience true happiness. You should face your own hell for the rest of your life. And no. Lily's scream echoed in the venue, and at the same time, my parents blamed her. It's your fault, Lily. Do something. Can our hospital afford to shut down? That's right. If you had treated your sister more kindly, it wouldn't have come to this. Is it my fault? Isn't the real issue Mom and Dad's favoritism in the first place? They're really beyond help. With this, I can finally cut ties with them without any regrets. Ultimately, touching the nerves of Simpson's family, my sister's marriage ended in cancellation. But I don't feel an ounce of pity. The wounds to my heart are nothing compared to this. They should regret more and suffer more. It might be heartless, but I will never forgive my own family. For the revival of the near-death hospital, let them struggle as much as possible. As for me, I still don't have a boyfriend and am dedicated to my work. For the sake of those who need my service, I'll do my best, a job helping people. In the past, I might have only thought of doctors and nurses. But now it's different. There are plenty of services helping people in town. Surely somewhere, someone is helping someone else.